And so it begins. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. We are going to be talking about baseball today. Specifically, we're going to be having a little bit more fun with this episode as a scenario kind of episode. We're going to be talking about what each MLB team would be in school. Today, I am not alone. Today, I'm joined by one of my good friends, and here he is to introduce himself.
What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and I'm going to be here with Nick telling you what each MLB team would be in school.
Heck yeah, we are. This is going to be fun. It's just a fun little video. Hopefully, it's not going to take too long since we're just basically going to be saying what the students are like and then popping off to the next one. You ready, Chris?
Yeah, sir.
All right. We'll go ahead and kick it off in the AL Central. The first team is the Chicago White Sox. Now, if the Chicago White Sox were in school, they were the kid with the dark past. And whenever we're talking about the dark past kid, it's something that they can't move on from. And that's the Black Sox scandal back whenever they basically lost the World Series on purpose. They can't escape from it so much that it's their home jersey color. Ooh.
So next up, we got the Kansas City Royals, who are the class clowns. So they're kind of like the butt of the joke. So, Kansas City's been kind of up and down. They won the World Series, I think, back in, 2015? So, they haven't done so well since. I don't believe they're all that good, so they're kind of clowns right now.
They're kind of clowns, but I enjoy watching them on TV. Next up, we have the Detroit Tigers. Now, since they are my favorite team, I wanted to make it personal. And back in high school, I was the wannabe magician kid. So basically, the wannabe magician kid, they're really cool at first because it's like, oh, wow, they got tricks. But then once you've seen all their tricks, they really just start to suck. And for the past 2 seasons, the Detroit Tigers, they started off good, looked like they were going to be competitive, and then they just kind of fell over and just started sucking like crazy. So the Detroit Tigers are the wannabe magician kid.
So the Cleveland Indians were like me back in my freshman year of high school. They're the nerds. They're okay, they're good, but, they don't stand out too well.
Fair enough. The Minnesota Twins are the history teacher of the MLB. Now, the thing about history teacher is it's a lot of people's favorites. Everybody really likes them because they can just kind of go in there and be themselves. But the history teacher, much like history, isn't doing anything new. It's just kind of the same old stuff. They're not really going to excel and do anything spectacular. Just flat out same stuff.
So the New York Yankees, they're the rich kids, kind of wealthy. They've bought a lot of their World Series teams. So, they got the parents' money. So, they're going to be the very, very rich kids that basically get whatever they want.
Next up in the AL East is the Boston Red Sox. Now, they are the bully. Now, okay, maybe the team aren't the bullies, but it's the Boston fans. Have you ever seen a Boston fan on social media? They are brutal to everybody else. Every Boston sports team, they are brutal. They are the bullies. Still love the Boston teams, but they are definitely the bullies.
Well, if the Red Sox are the bullies, then I definitely have to say that the Tampa Bay Rays are the jocks. They've been pretty good lately. They're really excelling and focusing on their plays lately.
They really are. They're not letting any drama from the Yankees or the Red Sox or anybody else in their division really distract them from going out there and winning games. So nice one, Chris. Next up, we have the Baltimore Orioles. Now, this is the kid who just hit puberty. Now, they're not perfect just yet, but you can definitely see them in development. They're getting a little bit hairier, a little bit muscular. They're definitely a kid you want to keep your eyes on. That was bad. Let me rephrase that. They're a team you want to keep your eyes on.
Well, I got to give it to the Toronto Blue Jays. Sadly, this year they don't have a home, so that kind of makes them the military family kid, you know? They kind of got kicked out of, what is it, the Rogers Center, I think it is, up
In
in,
Canada.
up in Canada. And I think they're playing in Buffalo for one of the minor league teams for Pittsburgh, I think it is.
Yeah, I think they were saying that they have to do stadium renovations for them. It's kind of funny because at first they weren't going to be in Boston, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess, or not Boston. I'm stuck with those darn bullies. Buffalo. They're stuck in Buffalo now. Heading over to the AL West. The first team on our list is the LA Angels of Anaheim. Now, the Angels, oh, this is going to crush Connor. They're the weird kid. Like, at first, whenever you look at the weird kid, you can't really tell that they're weird, right? Like, they actually look pretty normal. In baseball, they look like they're going to compete every year. But then you start watching them and you start seeing their record and you just ask yourself, man, what happened here? What are they doing? So the Angels are by definition the weird kid of the MLB.
Well, if the Angels are the weird kid, the Oakland Athletics, they're definitely the popular kid. Lately, they've been playing really well. So, you know, a lot of people are picking them to win the World Series.
That's why I'm wearing this hat. They've been surprising me so much. Next up, the Houston Astros. Now we can go easy on the Astros. Should we, though? Do they deserve to be going easy on? Yeah, all right, we'll go easy on the Astros. They're the good kid that went bad. Everybody knows about the 2017 cheating scandal. We don't have to bang on a trash can for people to know what they did. But prior to the 2017 season, they were actually pretty innocent. You know, whenever they would come over and face the Angels, it was like, cool, I get to see a Texas team. Then they went bad, and now they're public enemy number one. So it's just kind of, they're a little bit of a letdown because we know the goodness that they could be.
And actually, I thought I was going to be talking about the Astros, but it looks like I'm going to be talking about the Rangers. I am actually happy about this. So the Texas Rangers are the sensitive kid because if you haven't heard about the unwritten rule of not swinging at a pitch that's you're going 3-0 on and hitting a grand slam, you know, they got very sensitive about that with Fernando Tatis Jr. And yeah, so I don't know about this unwritten rule, but I'm pretty sure they don't remember 2007 when they beat the living tar off of the Orioles 30-3.
Hey, Chris, you better be
Yeah.
careful before the Rangers, they block you on like Instagram or something.
Oh God, please. I follow all the players on there too.
Oh no! Public enemy number one. You know how sensitive they are.
Oh God.
Next up, we have the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners, they're the anime kid. They're so caught up in what they're doing and watching something else that they forget to better themselves. They're also just a little bit weird because they should be better than what they are, but they're not. They are the anime kid. Sometimes they could also be a little annoying, but oh well, that's the anime kid.
Yeah, and moving to the NL Central, we got the Chicago Cubs. So the Chicago Cubs are kind of like the teacher's pet. You know, they're one of MLB's favorite teams. You know, they didn't win a World Series for almost 110 years.
108 to be exact.
Oh, 108, excuse me.
Yeah.
But they get on everybody's nerves because they won the World Series for the first time back in 2016, and they just kind of gloat about it.
Every year, you know, they're just like, we're going back to back. And it's just like, guys, it's been 4 years. Please start over. The Milwaukee Brewers. This is the guy who peaked a few years ago and still wants you to believe they're cool. I'm referring to back in 2018 whenever they were doing the switching of the pitchers all the time. as well as Christian Yelich and his NL MVP season. They were so cool. They went to the NL Championship Series and lost it to the Dodgers in 7. Ever since then, they're still trying to convince you they're cool, but they're not right now. They're not cool, and they're not hot either. You can't even say they're the opposite because they're just kind of, well, they peaked, and now it's just kind of sad seeing them.
Another team that's kind of sad seeing is the St. Louis Cardinals. You know, I remember the Cardinals being a contender every year, but they're kind of the overachievers or underachievers, excuse me, now. They should be contenders with the lineup and the pitching that they have, but they're just barely the middle of the road kind of team now.
Do you think that has any reason for being because the team caught COVID and they had to stop for a couple of weeks?
Well, I could see that this season, yes, but for previous seasons, I don't know why they couldn't be contenders, really. They have the team for it.
They do. They do. But moving on to the Pittsburgh Pirates, these are the emo kids. They are always down and depressed. They know what loneliness is. And whenever we were making this list, they only had 4 wins on the season thus far. Oh, Pittsburgh Pirate fans, they know loneliness. Everybody, if you know a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, check up on them. Give them a hug. Right now, they need it.
Well, going over to the last team in the NL Central, we got the Cincinnati Reds. Now, they're the posers. You know, they had some great seasons back in the 80s, you know, the big red machine, but now they're kind of wanting to be cool, but they just kind of feel, they're not really cool as they used to be.
It's true. It's true. Now, I'm not sure which mascot came first, but it's like the Mets have Mr. Met and the Reds have Mr. Baseball or Mr. Red, whatever his name is. Kind of a knockoff.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah. Now in the NL East,
I kind of wish I was talking about this one, but I'm glad you're saying it.
The Miami Marlins. They're the anti-vaccine kid. The anti-vaccine kid. So the Miami Marlins, they were the first team to have an outbreak of COVID, and it infected over 20 plus coaches and players combined, staff members. How do you do this? It's because their ownership told them, it's okay. We don't need vaccines. We don't need to be safe. Go out and have fun, boys. And look what happened. This is why you got to vaccine your kids. You can jump on it if you want, Chris.
I'm just surprised that they're doing as well as they are with the team that they have.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic, but maybe getting COVID helped them. Don't do that.
Don't get COVID, please.
Don't get COVID. It's bad. It's your move.
All right, so next we got the New York Mets. So they're the theater kids. So for those that don't know, they've been having a lot of drama with finding a new owner for the team. Not only that, their manager kind of stepped down pretty much a couple days into being signed as the manager. That was Carlos Beltran, because of the whole 2017 scandal with the Astros, actually.
Yep. There's just too much drama going on over in New York Mets. Hopefully they can figure it out and maybe they won't be theater kids anymore. Next up, we have the reigning defending World Series champions, the Washington Nationals. Now they are the wimpy kid who has the hottest girlfriend. You look at this team and you ask yourself, how did they get that? And when I say the hottest girlfriend, obviously I'm talking about the oh so saucy World Championship. How did they get that? Looking at this team now, was the break really that big of a difference? They did lose key members, but how did this team win it? Even last season, whenever they went from no postseason to winning the actual trophy midway through the season. And it's insane.
It is insane. It is, definitely. For the Philadelphia Phillies, we got the Band Geek. they are very loud, much louder than their actual abilities. So, they're not really doing too well, even with signing Bryce Harper and pretty much all the other big names that they've either acquired and or signed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know it. Next up, the Atlanta Braves. They are the only kid working on the group project. Now, the group is the NL East, the entire NL East. If you look at the Braves, they're barely over 500, and they seem to be the only team who's really trying to win the division. Is the division not worth winning? Second place might end up being under 500 just because that's how these new playoffs are going to be formatted. The Atlanta Braves, they're the only ones trying in their entire division.
Hey, well, there's always that one person that works on it. There's always that one person. So moving to the NL West, we're going to start off with the Rockies. Now, the Rockies are the stoner kids. Colorado, they legalized marijuana, and they're just enjoying themselves. They don't really, have any pressure on their shoulders or anything. They sit comfortably at second place in the NL West, so there's no pressure on them.
No, they're just having a good time. Can't blame them. Next up, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are the average guy. They're not bad. They're not great. They got new jerseys this season, so they look a little different, but they're not. They're just average. You could turn it on and have a nice time, but they're not going to wow you at all. They're just average.
Yeah. Going with the San Francisco Giants, we got them as the cheerleaders. And being a Dodgers fan, that is very suiting because they'd rather cheer for a football team than their own team at a game.
Mm-hmm. They're trying much harder for the 49ers to win a championship than they are.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Next up, we have the San Diego Padres. Now, they are the party kids. They're just out there. They're having fun. They hit 4 grand slams in 4 back-to-back games. What a crazy achievement. They're just there to have fun, but not if their parents tell them not to, meaning the coaches and that unwritten rule.
Yeah, that unwritten rule is definitely going to be a damper on their parties. Next up, and I'm very sorry to say this about my Los Angeles Dodgers, but they are the kid who got held back. They went to the World Series twice in 2 back-to-back seasons, yet they did not win, whether if it was cheating for the Boston Red Sox, but definitely cheating with the Astros too.
Yep. Hopefully this season they can finally, move on to the next level.
I'm hoping so. I hope so.
Well, that completes our list of all 30 teams. Before we wrap this up, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody on my previous video. My previous video was a hockey playoff prediction for round 2, and it got over 1,000 views, and it means the world to me. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really means so much to me. And Chris, would you like to thank anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to thank my friends Jack and Alex for giving us a few of their opinions on our list, and they helped choose at least 2 of the kids that we changed in our previous list that we had.
Awesome. Any last words?
Nope, I got nothing.
All right. Well, that does it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's the final score. Thank you and good night.